What is up, everybody? It's me, Josh. It is another glorious day. I know it looks like a crackhead lives here. Somebody once upon a time in this garage, long before I was here, tried to build a ghetto AC system in here. Yeah. Anyway, now that we get that out of the way, and you don't think I'm a meth cooking crackhead, I want to talk to you guys about something that I'm finding more and more prevalent. It's coming up more and more amongst communication with current and prior customers with IS250. Yes, Lexus IS250s. If you're wondering what that is, it's misfires. Getting ECUs back, and I'm being accused of doing something wrong and misfiring. So let me educate you guys on something so you guys have a better understanding. I understand. I'm not mad at you guys. Look at this. Woo. If I were you and I didn't understand, I just paid a bunch of money for something, I'd be frustrated too. I'm not mad at you guys. But I want to educate you guys, because if you guys are educated on a situation, you can make a logical assessment, and that will lead you to a proper result for your issue. IS250 is a direct injected engine. And I am going to go ahead and, I don't know if the beamer's unlocked. No, it is not. And my other vehicle is currently not here, or else I would show you. So we're going to just use our imaginations for a little while. So you're looking at your engine. Let's say I don't know how the motor in the IS250 exactly looks. I stopped working for Toyota long before those things came out. But on any direct injection engine, so on a direct injected engine versus port injection engine, port injection, which is your traditional thing, like my E92 M3 is port injection. My Mark IV Supra 2JZ, port injection. My old Lexus SC you guys used to see if you've been following me, port injection. My Corvette, that is direct injection. Now, there's different kinds of direct injection. Well, not really different kinds. There's different configurations. My daily driver, most of you guys don't know, I daily drive a Porsche Macan. Well, my wife does. I drive it a lot, too. Anyway, it's direct injection. So, port injection, you have your intake manifold runner. Actually, we can go inside, and I will show you guys. So we're going to look at an intake manifold. This one happens to be off of a 2JZ GTE non-VVTi, even though all that hoopla is irrelevant. So let me get I got an old fuel rail sitting here. And I have an intake manifold. That is absolutely hurting my hand. So, IS250 guys, explain. So, let me get all this other crap out of the way. So, we have an intake manifold here. Don't mind my wife's over there doing something. We're going to put this together and I'm going to show you. Bear with me. And it will make total sense to you when I explain this afterwards. What the heck is going on with your guys' automobiles? Would help if I put spacer in the right place. Oh man, that really cut into my fingers. Pretty awkward. Oh well, it doesn't matter. The injectors are sitting in here because we're not putting it on the car. I'm putting it upside down. Trying to do this with one hand. So as you guys see, we have your fuel rail. This flange here is where it would bolt up to the side of your cylinder head. I'm going to zoom out. This would bolt up to your cylinder head. Then you have your, on the 2J, it's a two-part intake. You'd have your throttle that sits here where the air comes in, your throttle cable. Here's your fuel injectors. All right, I know these things are all like mismatched and twisted around. It's whatever. So right here, your injector. Your injector sprays right there. What sits right in the intake chamber after here is it runs into the port of the head. The port of the head's about this much longer. And then it goes into the combustion chamber, or the bowl. And you have your 4 valves per cylinder. And the gas rushes and it hits the backside of the valves as it's spraying in. And then with you driving the car hard or even just drive up here, it constantly rinses the sediment off. I mean, you're going to still have some in there. That sediment is carbon. Carbon is from, it's a byproduct of waste oil and from just things burning. It's carbon buildup. So, because it washes the valves, your valves will have a little bit. Anyway, it washes it, so your valves will always seal back up. They go up in the head, and they seal up. It seals in the valve seat. Actually, I got a head here. I will show you guys the head. So, this head came off of a blown-up motor, but you can still see. And yes, I work out of an old house, which most of you guys know. At least for now, working on getting a new shop. So here you have your head. Here's the rest of the chamber. There's the backside of your valves down in there. Gas would spray down here. This is kind of nasty because it was a high mileage engine and whatnot. But you can see even where the fuel was spraying. See it? Clean section. Cleaner section. Cleaner section. Cleaner section. The fuel acts as, it has detergents in it. It washes this, and then there's your valves, and it washes the backside, so your valves go in there and close. Now, on a direct injected engine, the manufacturer puts the injectors in line, let's say, well, you'd have spark plugs on this, but let's say they put the injector down the middle where the spark plug holes go, and the spark plugs are on the side now, whatever. We're just making something up. It no longer hits the backside of the valves. So what happens by it not hitting the backside of the valves is your valves now, especially with smog pumps and EGR stuff and all the great crap that the bean counters at the EPA want us to have, basically causes more wear, more carbon. The carbon builds up on the backside of your valves. Here, we'll just do it like this. See? So the carbon will build up on the backside of your valves, down inside the chambers, right there. And what happens is over time, that carbon builds up along the valve stem. This one's got a little bit of carbon built up on it, right down there. But it'll get built up. So one thing is it can, over time, I would assume, it will literally build up on the valve stem and not let the valve fully close all the way. And if that valve don't close all the way, you'll lose compression. If you lose compression on a cylinder, there's no operating pressure in there, or not enough pressure. So what will happen is it will cause the vehicle to misfire. Or you can get carbon built up on the backside of the base of the valve, and it will keep the valve from sealing around there. And once again, you'll lose pressure. Will it make the cylinder totally dead? Possibly. It might also just partially kind of make it run a little leaner, a little differently. It'll change parameters in it. and it will not be happy because your injectors are not washing the back. So, that being said, the reason you guys are getting your ECUs back and you're having misfires is because your motor is direct injected. It's got a lot of miles on it. The vehicle probably hasn't been like romped on hard enough. The good old Italian tune-up. And even if it's romped on enough, it will have carbon buildup. The carbon buildup will cause your misfire. And that is probably what's happening. Now, there is a fix for it. And I don't do it. Your local shop's going to have to do it. What they do is they have a tool where they'll pull your intake off and they'll rotate the motor to where it's TDC, which stands for top dead center, which is where all the valves are closed. Like that. And then what they'll do is they'll tape everything up and cover all the other little, holes and crevices and whatnot. And what they'll wind up doing is they take it's a plug that fits in here, and it's got a thing that hooks up a shop vac up to it, so you get the shop vac sucking, and then they take ground up walnut media, and they go in here, and they blast all this nasty carbon and crap out, and some of them will run like a detergent. I like to use like the AC Delco detergents. So they'll put the AC Delco stuff in there. They'll take their little pick and their little screwdriver and try to break it up. And then they'll vacuum it out. And then once it's broken down enough, they'll go in there and they'll use the media to clean it to get the valves to look like that, where there's no sediment buildup on the back. And now your motor can run again. So before you go telling me that you got your ECUs back and I made it misfire, watch this video, educate yourself. Because the more you know, the further you go. Anyway, there you go. That is probably why a lot of you guys are having misfires. Has nothing to do with flashing the TCM. I'm not even touching the part of the ECU that even controls the ignition or the fueling of the engine. I'm not even anywhere near it. I'm literally messing with the transmission and the transmission control only. That is it. Nothing more. Nothing less. And it is a file that goes on all of them. It is literally copy and paste. It is the same file. So it worked for every other customer. Your car is not special. It did not just decide not to work for yours. It's the same. So go get your stuff or walnut blasted, and then check back in with me and let me know. Hopefully this helps you guys, because I know you guys want to solve your problems, and I know it can be frustrating when you don't know and you're not educated on the subject. But now that you know, go take care of your cars, and then enjoy your transmissions working and your car running right. Anyway, I appreciate you guys. Later.